STLC completed that process, only
Yeah.
theoretical part.
Yes.
So
STLC,
yeah,
we are working on STLC. Uh,
yeah,
so STLC's first phase is requirement analysis phase. Second one is test planning. In requirement analysis
yes,
phase, what we do is like the entry criteria are business requirement, all the documents, specification documents, business requirement documents, system requirement documents, functional requirement documents. Uh, these all are the entry criteria. And the activities what we do in business analysis, requirement analysis is like we analyze all the requirements and we identify all the transactions required and we prepare a requirement traceability matrix for that and we find out if any automation feasibility is there or not. And the exit criteria should be the signed off of RTM, a test automation feasibility report would be there. What are the deliverables? What we do in this stage is like RTM document. Coming to test planning section, what we do is like we need to find out like what we are doing, how we are doing, like when we are doing, who are doing all these activities. So we are finding out what, when, how, who are like it's related to test planning. So in test planning, the requirement entry criteria for it document is requirement documents what we have gone through in requirement stage, the entry criteria is in test planning, and there are requirement traceability matrix is also an entry criteria. And the activities what we do is like analyzing all the testing approaches what we can find, work on which approach we can work it out, and identifying the best suitable method and preparing the test plan and test strategy documents are more important in this stage, and also test effort estimation. And we'll identify the tool selection, like what tools we need to use, like for example, if you go for automation we need to go for Selenium, Java, or Selenium with C sharp, or Selenium with Python, which would be the best suitable one. And if you want to do whether a complete regression testing is required, end-to-end testing is required, only functional testing is required, or if any performance testing is required, if so what tool we need to use, those all things would be finalized in this test planning section. The exit criteria for this test plan would be approved test strategy and test plan document, effort estimation document. So, what are the deliverables we are giving from this test planning section? One is test plan, another is test strategy document, third document is effort estimation document. And okay, now we have completed requirement analysis, we have completed planning. Now we need to do designing. So, what designing we do is like here test cases and test plans, we do the designing. So, what are the entry criteria for this? Is entry criteria for this one would be the requirement documents, test plan document, what we have prepared in test planning section, and use cases project plan. Project plan is also preparation of it's a kind of document, configuration management document, what we prepare in test planning section. And use cases are some of the uh, requirements for this one. Okay. So, what is use cases actually? Wha- So, what does a use case mean? We'll see that one first. So, use case is nothing but it's a kind of a explanation of a brief explanation of the requirements. So, we describe the requirements here in use cases. Uh, so
okay.
how we describe is like it would be similar like scenarios, but not exactly. So here what would be there is like three input items would be the actionable items, or three items would be there. Here use cases would be described in a description manner, in a pictorial manner. We can explain use cases in pictorial manner also. See, for example, there is a login is there. Okay, login functionality is there. We take one person. Okay, and what is the action we need to log in, what is the output, home page should display. Okay, home page login. So the actor logins do the action or flow, and the outcome would be home page. So uh, this is how we explain in pictorial methods. Like, see, it is nothing but use case is nothing but it is like a
So
methodology.
pictorial in the sense it's a graphical or like it's a flow chart.
Look,
Flow
maybe
chart.
that may be in flowcharts method or in a graphical method, images mode. something,
Okay.
anything maybe. See, it is nothing but use
Okay.
case is nothing but it's like a to identify and clarify the organizational system requirements. To identify and clarify the organizational system requirements, we go through use cases. This is made up of like a set of possible sequences, like interaction between system and user. Say, don't make it more complicated, but just
Yeah. Okay.
so use case is nothing but it's a small description mode. Okay, describes the requirement. What it does is it describes the requirement, which contains a list of actions or steps for identifying the interactions between each person. Means, see here we are identifying the interaction between each person or each activity. Person, he is actor, and he is this is action, and this is the outcome. In simple, this is a use case. Okay, so in test scenarios, what we do, we write the what we need to test in a small description manner. Here, what we do, we describe the requirement. Okay,
Okay.
in test case, what we do,
So we write any use cases for that, like test scenarios.
sometimes we write, but most of the time not required actually. In practically, use cases are not that much there. See, the use case purpose of use case is to cover the requirements. That's all. Explain the requirements in a clear method, more interaction method. You can use the term interaction. Okay.
Okay.
See, a use case is used to describe the requirement in more interaction method. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So test case means we how to write the test case and we describe the steps, expected result, and actual result in detailed manner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we have a doubt like what is the difference between use case and a test case? Okay. So the basic difference like use case and test case is uh, the objective is of use case is to set certain output operations. Like we go through the requirements and we set certain operations. Whereas a test case is like it is describes the detailed description. Okay. See, a definition of use case would be like representation of actions, but here test case
Okay.
contains test data, etc., and follow a result of instructions. Use cases are prepared based on requirements. Test cases are prepared based on use cases as well as scenarios, right?
Yeah.
Test scenarios. Whereas requirement documents are main inputs for this one. Here, test data and test scripts are input for test cases. The output of this one would be like we don't execute any of these requirements. Uh, whether we are covering all the requirements or not is one thing which we check. This use case is mostly used by business users. Testers use test cases. Okay, this I think this answers your question. Business users or end
Yeah.
users will
Yeah.
use the test cases.
Okay. Business users in the sense like business analysts or like
Not clients, mostly clients
clients. Okay.
or business analyst or sometimes subject matter expert. Means like they verify right after a product execution testing everything is completed. They verify our things.
Mm.
So for
Okay.
verifying, what they do is sorry, they don't go through all the documents. They don't do all the test cases, all the tests. No. They just go through the requirements, use cases, and they do rough testing and they find out if any issues are there. So now test cases are ready, test scenarios are use cases are ready. So what we do here, we need to prepare test cases. Okay, test designing, test case preparation, it be done. So we know how to prepare test scenarios, test cases. Again, we'll see detailed in our activity. Okay. Now test cases are also ready. Next one is like environment setup need to be done. Environment setup means so on which environment we need to work, whether it is a Windows, Linux, or any other thing is there. And what are all the requirements we require? What would be the bandwidth we require? Internet bandwidth, server bandwidth. Okay, all these need to be checked and verified, and we prepare them. We do the environmental setup here.
Okay. Most of the in which platform, like Linux or
And Windows only,
Windows?
99.9.
Windows only.
Yeah, we
Okay.
do
Okay.
Linux. Only Windows.
So we don't want any Linux commands and all that. So
Not
this
required, not required, not required.
not required.
So system design architecture documents would be there, and environmental setup plan, how we need to set up that with the entry criteria. Exit criteria should be like something understanding the requirement, architecture, and everything. Preparing the list of what softwares we require. See, for example, we are doing a web application. What softwares we need to require, like Windows 10 for cross function compatibility. We need to verify. Uh, we need to have Mozilla. We need to have Firefox, Mozilla Firefox, we need to have Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge. So these all we need to set up. So for setup, what would be the bandwidth would be internet, what hardwares we require, like whether laptop need require 8 GB, add 8 GB, this one and 1 TB hard disk is required. What are all required? Those all need to be, they prepare a checklist and they will do it. So one important point in this environmental setup is we do smoke test in environment setup only. So once environment setup is done, we do a smoke test and we accept or reject the build based on the results what we got from the smoke test what we have done in environmental setup. Okay.
Okay.
So the output of this exit criteria of this environmental setup is like plan checklist of the environmental setup, test data setup, or smoke test successful. The deliverables would be
Mm.
smoke test result. Okay.
Okay.
Now we are off, now we are ready with we have completed requirement analysis. We are very clear what we need to be done. We have done our planning, when to start, where to do, how to do, who need to do. So everything we have planned. We have prepared the designing also. Test cases are designed, test data is ready. We have prepared test scenarios, and where we need to have those environment setup is also ready. Now we need to come for execution, right? Test execution. Test
Yeah.
execution is one important part. Now how we do test execution? We do test planning, we prepare test cases. Okay.
Okay.
So the entry criteria for test execution is test plan, what we have prepared in test planning stage. Test cases, test scenarios, what we have prepared in test designing section. Environmental setup, where we have prepared in test environment. Okay. And unit testing and integration report should be ready, and a build should be ready. For at the end of the day, what we need to test, that build should be ready, right? Without build, we cannot do any testing. So
Yes. Yes.
build should be ready. So now build is ready. What we need to do, we need to execute test cases. With the activities, what we do in test execution is we execute all the test cases. We document all those things. We log the defects or find out what are failed cases. Okay, and update the test cases if any necessary. We map the defects to RTM, requirement traceability matrix. We find out the regression testings, and we do all the execution part. We execute the test cases what we have written on application. Okay, and all tests are planned or executed, defects logged and tracked are the final output of this execution, exit criteria. Okay. And the deliverables should be the completed RTM document. RTM is requirement traceability matrix. And test cases updated with the results. Defect reports. Defect reports. So how do we do? So what we do is like generally, um, see, generally how it will be like, we have prepared, we are executing this login functionality. Okay, we found the issue. When we found an issue, what we do is like we report them to our manager, or our development manager. They will assign this defect to developer. The developer will go through the document defect, and he will verify whether it is needed or not, whether it is a valuable defect or not, and he will try to fix it. and he tries to fix the defect. So for this activity, we had a
So
long.
whenever we find a bug, so we can intimate to manager, or we can intimate to developer.
See,
Mm,
practically for developer
mm.
directly we assign it
Okay.
because we know who has developed it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we can directly assign it.
Okay. No need to contact manager, right?
No need to contact developer.
Okay.
No need to contact manager. Sorry.
No. Okay.
Yeah. So now we are doing test execution, right? In text execution part, one more point which I need to explain you is test suite. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, test suite. So what is this test suite is, see, in a part in a execution part, what we do is we do different test cases, different types of tests, right? So one is regression, end-to-end testing, smoke test, sanity test. So for all this, we have a particular set of test cases, right? So for regression testing, we do some 20 10 test cases are there. Okay. For end-to-end testing, we have some 50 test cases. For smoke test, we have some 30 test cases. Okay. So for each part, each type of testing, we have one set of test cases. So that particular set of test cases execution is called test suite. So in practically how we use is, regression test suite is completed. Have you completed end-to-end test suite? Have you completed smoke test and suite? Have you completed exploratory testing and test suite? Like that. So test suite is a group of test cases what we execute for a particular purpose. Okay. Test suite is a group of test cases which belong to the same category. Same category means for regression testing, what we do. So those all related test cases come under one suite. Suite number one, suite number two, suite number three, suite number four, like that it will be there. So all these are called as test suites. Okay. So practically we use this term. A regression suite complete అయిపోయిందా? Have you completed regression suite?
How you differentiate in test execution plan document? So these regression testing and smoke testing means, so
Yeah.
those test cases.
See,
Mm,
first point is we need to do functional testing everything.
okay.
Okay. Everything we will do. Functional testing means we are covering each and everything. Pin to plane,
Mm,
everything on the application we are covering. Okay.
okay.
And how do we identify regression means? Our manager will say or lead will say that regression testing is required for this one. Okay.
Mm,
You do regression testing on this module or on this application. Okay. Then, so what is regression testing? We are verifying whether all the things are working fine or not, right? So we in regression suite we don't go to each and every corner of the application. Okay, we do testing whether nothing is disturbed by the new builds which have came in. So we pick a couple of test cases, major important test cases, and we do testing as to see the application is not having any breaks. Okay.
okay.
So one more point I need to explain after this. Uh, so while explaining test,
So for test suite, so we are maintaining a document for test
no,
suite.
no
No.
documents means test cases will be the document.
Okay.
You take one Excel sheet or you don't see in regression testing. While I'm explaining, I have said you, we don't write anything new. Okay,
Okay.
we
Okay.
pick from the existing one.
Okay.
So that is test suite. Okay, in a test environment, we have a term called test bed and test bed. Okay, what is a test bed? Test bed is a software development environment. So test bed is nothing but it is a development environment. Okay, where developers do their testing. So in interview, they may ask what is a test bed. Test bed is nothing but it is an environment set up for software development, and this is mostly used by developers for testing. Whereas test environment, what which is set up, is mostly used for testers to execute their test cases.
Understood. So test bed is for developers and test environment is for testers, right?
Yeah, test bed is for developers and can be used by
Mm.
testers also.
Testers, okay. So, but we are not doing any testing, right? In
We don't do.
development means. So we
So
need testing and integration testing.
we need a separate environment. All things should be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is about test environment. Okay. Now what we are going through defects in test execution. We need to we found defects. So how we need to do defect this one. So for that, see, in defects means there are different types of defects are there. Especially when you talk about defect, you first listen about the term error. Error, defect. Next term would be defect, bug, or issue. Next one is failure. So what is the difference between error, error, defect, bug, failure? So error means, see, when a developer found an issue in his development environment while doing unit testing, it is called as error. So he will fix it there only. Okay. But when that error is being found by a tester in test environment, okay, error means by developer, defect means by tester. So when a tester find this error in his test environment, it is called as defect. Okay. Now we found a defect which has been escaped in unit testing by developer. So the defect, when we report to the developer, okay, we report a defect to the developer. Developer goes through the defect and he says, this is not a valid defect. Then gone. If he says it is a valid defect, yes, this is a defect, we need to fix it. Then that is called as bug. Okay. When a defect has been accepted by a developer, it is called as bug. Bug or issue, anything. Okay. Now, no developer did not find any issues. He fixed it, tested and completed. Again, he also completed testing successfully. Okay. No issues, no errors, no defects, no bugs, nothing. And the product is in market or at the business end. The business people are doing testing. Okay. Or end users like we are doing testing on the application. Then what happened? We found an issue, like something is not working when we do certain activity or certain action. Okay. Then that issue, what we found in the live environment and production environment, is called as failure. So if you found an issue, that object that is failure activity, that is failed PCR, you'll say, right? So when a issue is found in production environment or in live environment, it is called as failure. Got it? Got the difference between error?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you explain one more time of failure? Failure.
Yeah, yeah. See here, if you can see the slide. Look here, if you see the slide, see error. Error means the mistake in coding. Okay, is called as error. So developer will find this one. Okay, he finds and if he do fixing. So when there is a mistake in coding, it is called as error, program or syntax, and this is done mostly by developer. Okay. After that, defect. So the error found by a tester while testing. ఈ ఈ ఎర్రర్ని అంటే ఎర్రర్ అంటే ఏంటి, డెవలపర్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్లో డెవలపర్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసేది ఎర్రర్.
ఓకే.
దాంతో టెస్టర్కి ఏం సంబంధం లేదు. అదే టెస్టింగ్ చేసేటప్పుడు టెస్టర్ ఫైండ్ చేశాడు అనుకో, నువ్వు టెస్టింగ్ అది డిఫెక్ట్ అవుతుంది. ఆ డిఫెక్ట్ నువ్వు రిపోర్ట్ చేసే డెవలపర్కి, defect logged by a tester when developer accepts the defect. A defect developer accept చేస్తే అది బగ్ అవుతుంది.
ఓకే.
సో ఒక డిఫెక్ట్ ఉంది, ఆ డిఫెక్ట్ నువ్వు ఎర్రర్లో కనుక్కోలేదు, టెస్టింగ్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్లో కనుక్కోలేదు, ఏం లేదు, అది లైవ్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్కి వెళ్ళాక డిఫెక్ట్ బయటపడింది అనుకో, లైవ్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్కి వెళ్ళాక ఆ ఎర్రర్ కానీ అనొచ్చు, ఆ డిఫెక్ట్ ఆ బగ్ బయటపడింది అనుకో, అప్పుడు దాన్ని ఫెయిల్యూర్ అంటాం. ఓకే. The issue found in production environment or in live environment is called as failure. Okay.
Okay. Understood.
So, manamu what we do is like we do report. For doing this one, for this activity, what we say, errors, defects. There is a management. What we say, defect management process is there. Complete process is there. Okay. So now how this should be like? See, we find a defect, we categorize it, we report to the developer. They do work and they reassign us. We do testing and again we do it. So for this there is a complete one. This one is there. Defect management process is there. See this one. So the first process, what we can say is discover. So what we do, we first discover the defect. Okay.
Okay.
Later what we do, we categorize it. We categorize the defect. Categorization means
you can divide.
Yeah.
Categorize means which problem, which categorize in the sense like so which category means which module this comes under, like that.
No. So we categorization means we do find out, when we have identified a defect, we say it as a important defect or not important defect. Okay.
Okay. So, okay.
Here. First we'll go with discover. So first we discover the defect. Okay. The defect before releasing to the customer. Before we release to the customer, we find a defect and we report the defect to the development team. Okay. Report the defect to the development team. So development team accepted the defect, or they accept or reject the defect. If they accept the defect, it will become a bug. So we are successful. Now we have discovered a defect.
Okay.
After discovering, what we need to do is we do categorize the defects. Okay. Categorize.
Okay.
Categorize here in the sense, see, is the defect need to be fixed immediately, or because it may cause a great damage, or effect is impacting, but it has some main features which is high priority, which is a high, whereas in the medium they don't have any deviation. It's a very minimal deviation from the requirement, so very immediate attention is not required. And low. What is low? Low means uh, the defect is minor. Most of the time, we can say that defect as a uh, most of the time we can say the defect as a very less importance. It doesn't have very much importance for that defect. So we can say it as UI kind of things. Okay.
Okay.
So now we are categorizing. How we are categorizing? Based on the severity and priority. Based on severity and priority, we categorize the defects. So what is severity and priority?
So these critical and we call it as a severity or
Yeah, critical means severity, very severe, high
no.
severe.
Mhm.
Okay, see how we categorize the defects is like this. It is defect categorization would be severity, critical,
Okay.
high. See, mainly we can say it is under severity and priority. Okay, mainly it is called as severity and priority. Okay, whether the defect is very severe, whether the defect needs to be addressed priority wise means high priority or low priority. So under severity and criticality, we go with critical, high, medium, low. These are the different types of severity and priority wise P1, P2, P3. So if a defect is P1, high priority is required. If the defect is critical, very high, the system application is getting crashed, I think. Then high, medium. In the same way, P2, P3. So P3 and low, very immediate attention is not required. You can take time. Most of the time, P3 or low will be of UI type of kinds, like color not matching or text improper spelling mistake. Okay, so those would be the different categories. So how do we understand what is the severity or priority? Like how do we understand by seeing the issue whether it is a high severity or high priority? For that, what we do is see here. For example, we got an up bug. So due to that bug, if the key feature does not work, if the key feature does not work, it is critical and urgent. It is severity wise critical and priority wise very urgent. Okay, so this need to be addressed very immediately with immediate attention. Next one is, see, for example, company logo is in the wrong color. Company logo is displaying in a wrong color. Then severity wise it is not that much critical, right? So the application is working well. Just color is not good in the logo. But priority wise it is very urgent because it impacts by seeing the application, first impression will be bad.
Oh,
So for that, this
okay.
is an high priority one, but severity wise not important. So
Okay.
see, first if we get a defect, if we get two defects, one is high priority defect, one is uh, high severity defect. Which one? Which one will take first?
High priority will take it.
High severity we take.
Okay.
See, if you can see, it is critical in severity wise, but then priority wise also it will be high only, mostly,
Okay.
most of the time. Okay. See, for example, feature that is rarely used does not work is a low priority here it is. But severity wise it is critical. So first we address high critical functionalities. Okay. Severity is more important. We address severity one. Then we go for criticality. A priority. Okay. Priority means like logo is not working. company the caption on an image is written in the wrong font. So see, this fourth one is not neither severity nor criticality.
Okay. Okay.
See the defect severity. Severity describes the seriousness of the defect. Okay, it is categorized into critical, high, medium, low. Okay, critical means completely process is stopped due to the defect.
So
Application.
both are there, like severity parity is there both at a time, or like
Both will be there. See,
okay,
you need to identify when you
okay,
raise a bug in application. You need to
okay,
identify whether it is a high bug or a low bug. Means its severity is high or low, its priority is high or low. That you need to find it. You need to identify.
okay.
How do you
So
identify
what
this?
I no, what I am saying, right? So severity parity in only one option is there, right? So severity and parity both are there in Jira,
Both will be there. Both
right?
will be there.
Both will be there. Huh? Okay,
So by seeing by identifying a defect, you need to get it to picture this one, this image, right? Critical, urgent. So if it is very system is getting crashed, it is a critical and high critical, high priority. So they need to fix it. System is getting crashed in a module where it is very rarely used, very rarely used to that point. Nobody goes to there. Then it is a severity is high, critical is not that much. Okay. And when you see the logo or something like that, then that is logo means very priority is high, but severity not that much important. Thereon, if the caption or spelling mistakes, that is low severity, low priority. Okay.
okay. Yes.
Based on this, we identify a defect. We identify a defect. Okay, whether it is a severity defect or whether it is a priority defect, what we need to do, how we need to do. Okay, we have identified the defect now. We have identified it as some
So,
say,
so for this, who will means priority? Who will decide? Like tester only, or any other people? So they will.
tester will see you are testing
Okay,
the application. You need to find out
okay.
whether it is a severe or uh, high severity or
Our
high
okay,
priority.
ourself only. Mhm.
Pardon? Yeah, go ahead. You're saying something. Let's go to you are saying something.
So ourself only we can give this priority and severity.
Yeah, ourselves we will only give. Sometimes after we give, our manager can change it.
Okay, sometimes.
See,
Mm.
this one, for example, one feature is not working, we keep it as high critical and high
Mm.
priority also we may keep it.
Okay,
But manager says this is not high priority and we can do it later also. Okay, like that he may say. Okay. So now we have identified a defect, right?
okay,
We have identified a defect. What we do is we assign it to the developer. So when we assign to a developer, it will be in the open stage. Okay, in application, there would be stage open, fixed,
Mm.
all this
Okay,
submitted stage stages would be there. Now we say it is in open stage, means we have assigned to the developer. Developer not yet started working on it. It is in still assigned
okay,
stage, open stage. Once the developer started looking into the defect, so what
okay,
he do is developer started looking into the defect, and he found that this defect which you are raised is already someone reported. Okay,
okay, okay,
in a last sprint or in this sprint already somebody has reported this defect. So this is a duplicate defect. He opens the this one and he selects from drop open to duplicate. So he marks the defect what you have logged as duplicate and he closes it. Okay. Okay. So what happened? Here the defect is in open state. The developer started going through it, and he found that the defect is out of scope. Something which is out of scope you are working on and raise the defect. Then he will straight away reject the defect, reject it, and close the defect.
Okay.
Okay. And if he found a defect, which is deferred. Deferred means he found a defect and he said that yes, yeah, Koti, this is a defect. You are right, but this defect can be fixed in next sprint or in the next cycle, not now. So this
Okay.
cannot be fixed in this cycle. We can fix it in next cycle, and he will mark it as a deferred. Okay, deferred means
Okay.
doing next time, postponing, and
Okay.
assign it to the next release. Okay, that is called as deferred. So duplicate, rejected, defect. Okay, if now the developer has accepted your defect, and he,
Mm.
okay, then he will
Mm.
change the sta- uh, change the stage of open to in progress. Okay, in progress or
Okay.
submitted, something like that will be there. Okay, in progress, he will
Okay.
change the status from in progress to open to in progress, means developer is working on the defect. So we need to understand developer is working on the defect. So once the developer has worked on the defect, he will mark it to fixed.
Okay.
Okay,
Even
he will mark the defect to defect as fixed. So once it is fixed, again the tester comes in the picture and he tests the application. He tests the defect, what has been fixed by the developer. He verifies, and if he finds the defect is working fine, it is good. Now no more defect I can see. Then you can close it. Okay, you can close the defect.
okay. Okay.
Or else, if you again see the issue in the defect, again if you see the issue in the defect, okay, you mark it as reopen. You mark it as reopen, and you leave it again. The defect developer will go through the defect. He will fix it, and again he will give it to you. So this is what is called as defect life cycle. Defect life cycle. What we do? We open a defect. We assign it to the developer. Developer will go through the defect and he will find out whether it is a duplicate defect, rejected defect, deferred defect, or he needs to fix it. So if he need to fix it, he will fix the defect. Okay, he will fix the defect. Developer will fix the defect and delivers it to the tester. Again, tester retests the defect, and if he finds the defect is working as expected, he will close the defect. If it is not working as expected, he will reopen the defect again.
When will he put in progress after opening?
Yeah, after open, when he is working
Okay.
on it, when the developer is working on the defect, he will keep it in progress. So, see,
Okay.
whenever now you want to verify whether the defect is fixed or not, instead of going to the
Okay.
developer and asking, hey, Amar, have you worked on the defect? What
Okay.
is the status? Instead of asking like this, you can go to the application, you can go to the tool, Jira tool or Rally tool, wherever the defect is there, and you can verify the status of the defect. If the status of the defect is still in open, developer did not start the work on it. Just if it is in progress, the developer is working on it. Once he's done, he will inform us.
So you discussed it, right, that like severity and penalty. So for that, is there any time limit for that? It's like 1 or 2 days or hours. Is there? Like?
No, see, severity,
Mm.
high severity means you need to do it on the fly. Immediately, you need to address.
Okay.
If the priority is low, you need not address
Mm.
immediately. It can take some time.
So there is no time limit for that.
No, specifically no time.
Okay. Okay.
So this is called as defect life cycle.
Mm.
Okay. So now where we are here. Now we have completed discovery.
Okay.
Categorization is done. Okay, we have categorized the defect and the resolution part. Resolution part is defect life cycle. What we have run. Okay, developer develops fixes the defect, and after resolution, what we do is we verify the defect. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
we verify the defect. Here in resolution means it is like a step-by-step process of fixing the defects. It is a clear process of fixing the defect. And after that one, what we do is like verify the defect. Means verify means we again retest it. Okay, we
Okay.
retest the defect. We verify the defect, and if we see that the defect is working fine as expected, we close the defect. Okay, and if we see again
Okay.
an issue, we'll set it. So closure. So we'll close the defect and we'll generate the reports. What reports? Test metrics report should be generated, or defect metrics report would be generated. Okay, defect metrics report. If I have any document for that, yeah. So see, this is the defect metrics report. Defect metrics. So defect metrics report means, for example, you have identified um, 84 defects. Okay, some 80 defects you have identified, but in that actual only 60 defects are defects. Remaining are not defects. Okay, then that is called as defect rejection ratio. Sorry. So that is called as defect rejection ratio. Okay, we will we will reject the we will find out the ratio of the rejection, how many defects have been rejected. So out of 100 defects, 40 defects are rejected, your percentage is 60% only. Okay, that is called a defect rejection ratio. Defect leakage ratio. Leakage ratio means you have identified some 60 defects, but still there are 20 defects which have been identified in developer's environment. So So total defects are number of defects missed are 20. Total defects are 100 into this one. So how much the percent you get? Some 30% or 32%. Or 20%. That is called as defect leakage ratio. Okay, you should be more careful about these all things. Give me a second. Okay, so this is called as defect leakage ratio. Okay, now what we are doing is like defect metrics. Here we find out what is the rejection ratio, how do we reject it, and all those things would be find out. And they prepare a metrics, complete metrics. They do prepare for it. That is called as rejection ratio. Okay, they do prepare a report on this what we do, and they will send it. Okay, so this is how we find out the defect, find out the metrics, and we do it. So here in our test execution, we have completed the test execution and a test cycle closure. In test cycle closure, last step what we do is like we do testing completed, test reports or test results are available, defect logs are available. Okay, here in test closure or test cycle closure, what we do is that we evaluate. Uh, we evaluate the cycle completely. Okay, time, test coverage, what we need to do, quality, everything we'll find out. Okay, how we need to do, what is the critical business objective, what is the test report, what is the bug report, all we'll be doing those. Means like we'll be preparing, we'll be identifying that how much time we have allocated and how much time we have completed, how much work we need to do. Okay, means like what is the deviation between actual work and allocated work timelines, We'll find out the critical business objectives. What are all the test report? We'll get the test report. We'll get the metrics. What I've explained: test metrics, defect variation. What is the slippages, leakages? All those things. We'll get the documentation, and we'll prepare the test closure report. One test closure report will be prepared. Here we will document certain learnings also. Learnings also means like we'll be identifying some new things, like we have missed something which have been identified, one area we have missed, or we have concentrated one area, or like if you have been done some regression testing, it would be good, or something, some new things what we have identified, or we'll make a documentation which would be a lessons for next project. Okay, so those all would be the activities, and then we will do this test closure report. That is the exit criteria. So deliverables for this is test closure report is the deliverables for this report. Okay. So clear till here, guys?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, good. So this is more important part: test cycle, requirement analysis, test environment, and all these things. Okay. Go through this all things. Next one. So so now till now we see here we have completed complete stage one. So stage two also almost completed. We need to do practicals in stage two. Okay. So writing test cases, analyzing the business requirement. So shall we start now or shall we start tomorrow fresh?
You can start tomorrow. If you don't.
What do you say, Amar?
Yes, it's fine tomorrow.
Yeah.
When will it start stage three? That is agile methodology.
Test
Stage
Three.
3 is asking.
stage three. Yeah, once we complete our practicals tomorrow is Tuesday, right? So in 2 3 days we'll do practicals. Okay, by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And next year we'll complete the next we'll start agile methodologies.
Okay.
So maybe I think we can have, if we have time in this weekend, we'll complete by weekend only. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.